Workbook activities. Workbook activity year 3, lesson 10, number 1 is on pages 244 and 245 of the Eckankar 2 Discourses by Harold Klemp. Should a person choose to open themselves up to the guidance of God's prophets, are the current person called the Mahanta, the living Eckmaster? Page 234 of the Eckankar 2 Discourses says, the spokes of the wheel represent the 12 main offshoots. The secret meaning of this to me seems to center around the idea that the list is less factual of the actual types of spiritual experiences or lives, but hints at a metaphorical truth to the teachings of Eckankar that are not true by themselves. I think that when they claim things like Eckmasters have taught countless others, that not even the one writing these discourses has any real idea how many people have or will be educated into that teaching or technique. The next page has the following workbook activity. I now have a better understanding of the dreams I have thought of and how to respond to some concepts that I encounter here. I am on the path to God because I realize indirect ways like surrender to projections and worship of outer creations will not get me where God wants me, no matter how many initiations I might be offered from teachers and spiritual organizations. The following page has the next workbook activity. I'll skip pretending that I'm hearing the story about the man driving into a tunnel or any sort, or any other story in Harold Klemp's voice. It will probably be better to imagine a voice more relevant to your life instead of fantasy about a celebrity. A spiritual exercise of that story might be like the Simon, like communications with aliens on Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or whatever that movie is called, except with light. Isn't there more than one Close Encounters movie? Thus far, I am not getting it to go random. Then is another page with another workbook activity, and eternity imagined is no eternity at all, but it might be after seeing what is on the other side of the small black square hole. That might just be symbolic of the mental projection of consciousness upon spirit. Things merely imagined, like the dead images of Eckmasters, golden wisdom temples, and spiritual cities, seem to have no life to me in themselves. The Eckankar 2 Discourses by Harold Klemp has workbook activity 3.10.5 on page 249. I would tell someone interested in Eckankar whatever seems fitting for them, not to fall for the bit where anything seen or heard is a revelation from God as proof of such light and sound cults. I'm grateful for all my senses, physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. The following page has another workbook activity. Virtually everyone has troubles, but I don't know how words of mystery, avoidance, and thinking you are a vehicle for love or other Eckankar techniques are enough of a toolkit to solve your problems in this world. The next workbook activity is on another page. Trusting in God and surrendering of one's will to whatever God's way is are steps to self-mastery. But accepting the influence of whatever system or whatever you find yourself a part of might rather be a way to lose control of yourself. Another page has the next workbook activity. I told you what I noticed about the temple of my dream. I'm not going to try to make up sensual details to fill in any gaps, nor attribute anything there to direct communication with some master in a human body, unless you mean me. The final workbook activity can be said to involve the last 3 pages of the lesson, the 10th lesson of the Eckankar 2 Discourses. I couldn't think of any insights from a journal review except to think about possible ancient Egyptian origins of names and concepts, when possible, and to pay attention to a variety of expressions of the same. My special lesson of growth seems to be around abandoning further Eckankar involvement after this 3rd year to go more public with my findings. And I wasn't sure about that at this point because I obviously continued for a few more months, but